for has come to an end.
And it was awesome. MLP brought to us its most ambitious, experimental, and interesting season to date. Mostly.
And right here, right now, we are going to uncover the worst moments of MLP Season 4.
A few rules before we start this list. The first and most important rule is that this is a list of worst moments. These could be whole episodes, parts of episodes, or just annoying trends. Secondly, we can only put a moment on the list if we both agree on it. So, without further ado,
the top 5 worst moments from MLP Season 4.
And yes, this season was so good, we can only find 5 moments.
I don't dislike this episode. That being said, I still have problems with it. In this episode, it's Fluttershy's job to help out some creatures in need, the Breezies, small fairy-like creatures with wings that are now available to order for only $29.99 plus shipping and handling. Limited time only, this offer is not available in stores. For more information, call 1-800-product placement. Must be 18 years or older to order.
Buy the playset!
Okay, maybe we're overreacting. I mean, the entire show is basically a toy commercial. After all, it's run by Hasbro. Still, this feels pretty shameless, especially how the ponies keep rambling on about how adorable these things are. It feels really manipulative, and it gets cringeworthy fast. But the biggest problem with the episode isn't the toy commercial, it's the setup.
The Breezies are sort of like bumblebees, except more annoying. They always have those stupid high-pitched voices that make my ears bleed. Especially the leader, Seabreeze.
I can't. This lot can only understand you.
That's a guy.
The Breezies have to carry their pollen back home before the portal to their home closes, and need to ride on a breeze from Pegasus ponies. But when a leaf gets loose, courtesy of Spike, a group of Breezies is separated from the rest. They go to recover at Fluttershy's house, but for some reason they don't want to leave. This setup is hard to buy, mainly because I figured the Breezies should be more concerned about the fact that the portal to their home is about to close.
For some reason, more like Fluttershy is being overly nice. The Breezies are being too attached. They just need to let it go!
No time for a song! We've got a worst moment list to do! While Fluttershy's pampering must be nice, I still find the setup hard to buy, and it does take away from my enjoyment of the episode, which is a shame because it actually teaches a nice mature moral about learning to ask nicely, but also keeping in mind that sometimes you have to be firm to a friend without being mean. But even that good stuff is countered with more toy commercial.
It's all about the money, money, money. Dogs, dogs, dogs.
No need to worry about making Breezy Main 6 fan art. Hasbro has done it for you, and you can buy it at Toys R Us for only $35!
Yay! Toys R Us! No!
So while the episode wasn't bad, it had a lousy setup, and I always leave it with a sour aftertaste in my mouth. On to number 4. Now, I don't like cheesy episodes or annoying episodes, but there is something to be said for an episode that's just boring.
There's music in the treetops, and there's music in the vale, and all around me music fills the sky.
This episode was boring altogether. I like how they brought back Flutter Guy, but long story short, it ain't that good.
Now, this episode's gotten some criticism from some fans because of this really awkward Pinkie Pie scene.
You'll be there on stage, basking in the hooflights, the center of attention, a shining star, with every pony staring at you, judging you, jealously noting how they could be way better than you. Why wasn't it them? Why wasn't it them? And then, when you choke, they'll turn on you, becoming a seething, angry mob, and you'll be horribly humiliated, never able to show your face in Ponyville again!
Yes, I agree that it's mean-spirited, and the joke went too far. It also messes with the moral. I'd be much more open to the moral of conquering stage fright if it weren't for little Miss Blabbermouth over here, reminding me of how much I should be afraid of performing on stage.
I agree, but it didn't really bother me.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the lesser problems with this episode.
Basically, the only thing Pinkie looks like here is drunk, which is normal for her.
As far as I'm concerned, my biggest problem with this episode is just how boring it is. The setup for this episode is that when Big Mac loses his voice, he can't perform in the local a cappella group. So the others get Fluttershy to lower her voice using a magic plant and sing in place of Big Mac. She agrees, but only if she could sing backstage while Big Mac lip syncs.
Eventually, Fluttershy conquers her fear. This episode is hard for me to talk about because it's just not interesting.
My mind kept wandering while watching it. Yeah, the song was good, but they just kept playing it over and over to fill up space. Any moments that would have been heartwarming got countered by Pinkie Pie embarrassing herself and driving Fluttershy to tears. In the end, I don't really enjoy watching this episode, it's just there.
This next episode, on the other hand, gives us plenty to talk about.
Throughout this season, we've tried to put out full reviews, but sometimes we just didn't have time, and so instead we put out short videos called First Reactions, where we just talked about our opinions on an episode without a script. These first reactions have gotten a surprising amount of views, and if you've been following these videos, you know that this was an episode that left me conflicted.
I've been able to get first editions of all the Daring Do books, except this one.
We all remember Traja. The main six go to the Rainbow Falls Trading Exchange. Rainbow Dash acts stupid, Twilight gets too much attention, I'm jealous of Lyra.
It seems like for every moment I liked from this episode, there was a moment I didn't. Wait, what was that last thing again?
Nothing!
Applejack and Rarity spent the entire episode acting shallow and superficial, which isn't usually the case with these two.
Both of them wanted the stupidest things possible. Why in Equestria would Applejack think that their entire trade stash was worth trading for one rusty old tin that cooks pies 5 seconds faster? 5! Either she thinks that the pie tin is more valuable than both their trade stashes, or she doesn't see any value in her or Rarity's things. No matter which other you pick, they're both wrong and stupid. Quit acting like idiots.
Rarity isn't any better off either, wanting a brooch that looks just like the one she has, except that it's older, so it's more antique. These jokes are not funny. At all. Mostly because I really don't buy that Applejack and Rarity would be this superficial. In order for characters acting stupid to be funny, they have to act reasonably stupid, which these two do not.
In other news, Twilight wants to trade for her old books for whatever else she wants, since her library is getting too crowded.
But then, at the end of the episode, she decides the books are too valuable for her to trade.
So now what is she going to do about all that wasted space? Oh wait.
My lucky horseshoe.
Oh great, Rainbow Dash is stupid too. This can't be good. Yes, she actually thinks that a rusty old horseshoe is as valuable as a first edition novel, and is utterly shocked to find out otherwise. Sure, the horseshoe is valuable to her because she considers it lucky, but she has to realize that it doesn't have that value to any pony else. Unless, of course, she thinks that she's so special and important that her lucky, rusty garbage will be as important to others as it is to her. In which case, why is her ego so inflated here? It seems like most episodes that try to deal with her overconfidence exaggerate it to the point of annoyance.
So Rainbow Dash stupidly says yes to giving away Fluttershy for a book. Rainbow Dash, what are you doing?
That was easily one of the most awkward moments in an awkward episode. But perhaps most awkward is the concept. The reason they're all at this trader exchange to begin with is because Princess Twilight has to make sure that every trade is fair. It's her royal duty. The rule is that a trade is fair when both ponies get what they want. Why does it have to be a princess that decides this? Basically any pony could do this job.
And speaking of Princess Toilet Sparkle...
I already mentioned in a previous video how Equestria seemed to be ignoring Twilight's new status.
Not likely. She can get in line like the rest of us.
Excuse me? You're talking that way to a princess?
And then, when the show does talk about Twilight's status, they turn her into the biggest celebrity on the planet. It seems like these scenarios are totally different. Either no pony notices her, or every pony notices her. Most episodes only focus on Twilight's status when it's important to the plot. Otherwise, they just pretend it doesn't exist. I figure more ponies would at least give recognition to Princess Twilight, even if she isn't being followed around by the royal entourage.
But now she has a castle, meaning that the writers have no excuse to not face Twilight's status head on. Let's hope they succeed in Season 5.
Out of all the episodes of Season 4, there was only one which I would actually call a bad episode.
They want me to fly with them.
Long story short, again, these three try out for the Equestria Games. Think they're going to lose and win. Little engine who could plot. Keep on trying! Not!
I already talked about this episode in our Equestria Games video, so I'll keep it short here. The fact that Rainbow Dash's ego is so exaggerated here just bothers me. It's Tradia all over again. I figure that Rainbow Dash would at least have the common sense to know that ponies who can't fly shouldn't be on a flying team.
But I really want to fly with the best team.
Oh no! You're worried your team isn't going to win the games? Well, it serves you right for making such a terrible decision. Perhaps if Rainbow Dash got some form of punishment for making this choice, the episode would have been saved. But instead, we have an annoying storyline and a random derpy cameo which didn't make the episode any better off.
Well, Derpy Canada always makes things better, but anyway. So that was our worst moment list. We hope you enjoyed our video more than we enjoyed these moments. See you next time!
Ditch me now, but it's you who'll have lost it all, yeah. Lost now.